Alrighty, welcome to Ride Reviews. This is my first video here, and today we're going to be looking at this E36 M3. Now this is the convertible, as you can see here, 1998. Let's go a quick walk around. So it's here, it's in this very nice dark green color. You can see it's not in the best condition, rims are a bit dirty. Clear coat is fading in a few places. See the M3 badge here on the side. It's interesting that they made it in a convertible. I always thought that was interesting. I feel like for a performance option you wouldn't really want a drop top with that added weight, but BMW did it anyway. On the back again we can see here we have an M3 logo, our antenna. Interesting it doesn't go up and down, but I guess it's more of a Japanese car kind of thing. And once again, clear coat fading a little bit, but otherwise, pretty nice car. Let's pop the hood, get a view. Pull that lever right there. And then through the kidney grill. Well, actually, no, this one doesn't do that. Forgot. This one does not lift. And there we go. We can see our 3.2 liter inline-six here. Makes 240 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque. That's one nice thing about these European cars is they always have nice torque. I have a Prelude that has 200 horsepower, but the nice thing about this, again, is that torque. You feel it on the low end. You don't have to get up so high. Especially because the red line at this thing is 6.5k RPMs. So, it doesn't rev as high as a Honda, but it is still a blast to drive. See, no major modifications. Intake box, still stock. It is warm because I've been driving it a bit. But otherwise, pretty clean engine bay. A lot of plastic, especially for a car that was made in 1998. What else zip tie here holding that on? That's funny. Yeah, let's get it shut. Let's start driving because that's what we're here for. So nice handles, just snap open. Hop in here. Got the key here in my pocket. Take it out, throw it in. Good old BMW chime. Put the clutch in neutral and let's start her up. And she starts right up. Now you may notice this thing does have 212,000 miles, so this thing's definitely a beater, but it's in really, really good shape for what it is. Got the light switch here, fog lights. Mirrors still work, make a lot of noise, but do work great. We do have an aftermarket stereo in here. AC still blows cold, which is nice. Heated seats work. I'm going to show you the top, because the top closing is really, really cool. So, we're going to hold this button here, and it's a bit slow. But it is, in my opinion, one of the coolest tops ever. So you see it closes there. It does this weird thing in the back, where it then closes, and then sets the plastic part on top, and then finally closes up here. And there we go. Top is closed. Alrighty, let's get going. Put the e-brake down, goes into gear nicely, and we are moving. Like I mentioned, everything in this car is stock, so unfortunately the exhaust isn't going to be super loud, but we'll do our best to get some audio clips. Fun fact about these BMWs is, compared to other cars I've driven, these are very low. For what they are. This thing, again, completely stock, so no coils. The ride height is pretty low though, and so I find myself scraping over speed bumps that are not that high. Same with entrances and exits. Alrighty. And we are warm, so we're good to just drive. Alrighty. This car is, like I said, a lot of fun to drive. It's not the most raw, I would say. BMW, of course, being more of a luxury brand, definitely adds their own luxury touch to everything. So you have things such as electronic seats. We have this ASC here, which is BMW Stability Control. And from what I've heard, it's pretty bad. I've not been in a situation, because this isn't my car, that I've had to use it, thank goodness. But from what I've heard, it's not the best, so we're praying that we're not going to have to test that out today. But yeah, just again, a quick look around the car. few trim pieces missing here and there, but I mean, what do you expect? It's an ancient car. 212,000 miles on a BMW is quite impressive. It is a 5-speed transmission, as you can see there, not 6. But honestly, I think this car doesn't really need a 6th gear. It would be nice, don't get me wrong. But on the highway, you're at about 3,000 RPMs, 65, 70 miles an hour, which isn't terrible. Driven some 5 speeds that are a lot worse. Rev matches nicely. It's always a little rev happy. It has some traffic up here though, it looks like, but this is what you get. Let's see if I can. I'm not gonna be able to pass this guy. Turn here. He is. Got all the plastic creaks. And again, being a drop top, you hear the soft top likes to shake a lot. It's one of my biggest complaints. The soft top's very nice. Being able to open it, feel the wind. I do admit it looks kind of funny, especially in a car like this that is designed for performance. But it's still a nice thing to have. It is naturally aspirated, so there's not going to be any turbo kick in or anything. That was floored in 3rd gear at 3K RPMs, so not the fastest car. I mean, there's a reason why they call this the slow M3. See, I am not used to these blind spots, but does drive very nicely. It's very smooth, that's for sure. Do feel the wind though. It's one thing with this boxy design, not the most aerodynamic, and so crosswinds or just going anything over 60, yeah, you do feel the wind in your wheels. It does have power steering, but even then, it still likes to yank you around a little bit, and you can definitely hear it. You don't see these cars around too much anymore. It's quite sad, actually. You see a lot of the newer generations. You see a lot of E92s around here, but E36, I don't know. There's something about this design I really like. Is it 128, 135? I'm not too fluent in my BMW talk. But I'm a really big fan of the E36 design and E30, but I really like the E36 because it's the combination of that modern design. Because E30, you still have those old bulbs. I mean, it looks like a rally car, and don't get me wrong, it looks awesome. I do love it. But there's something about this car. It just mixes that new BMW style with the old boxy design of the 80s and 90s. And I'm a big sucker for that design of boxiness. And so I really do like this design. It's always cool to see one around, even if it's not an M3. Although these are becoming increasingly more popular because of the lower price. Because E30 M3s, I think those exist. Oh, something's beeping at me. That's nice. I don't even know what that was. It's not a BMW unless it chimes at you once every drive, right? Back to what I was saying. I think E30. Yeah, no, E30 M3s definitely exist. Those are sought out. Those are sought out after because they're cool cars, right? People want to see them. I wouldn't call them exotics, but they're definitely not the most common. And then you have the E36 M3, which is not super common, but becoming more available to people. I've seen them go for under 10 grand now. And in my area, that's actually quite nice. In California. So being able to pick up an old M3 like this, it doesn't have to be drop top. I mean, I've seen hard tops go for 8 to 9 sometimes. Obviously not in the best condition. You're gonna have one with 200,000 miles, but still a great car. And this thing runs very well. It does burn oil. Burns oil like crazy. You'd think it's an old Honda. But does drive well. I can't hear the engine on this thing, which is sad. This thing would sound very, very nice with an exhaust. Alright, buddy. Let's move. See if we can get to a stoplight where there's no cars, so we can get an idea of the acceleration. 0 to 60 in this car, I believe, is around 6.5 seconds. I'll throw it up there if it's not, because I'm probably wrong. That was a misshift. This car does not like to go into fifth. The fifth gear is almost like a reverse on this car. In a BMW or a lot of German cars, your reverse is actually out to the right and up. And I say actually because I drive a Honda, and so I'm really used to Japanese car things. I've grown up around Toyotas my whole life, so I'm not really used to European car things. So if I sound surprised or anything and you're like, oh, that's normal, he's just stupid, you're right. I'm just not used to cars like this. But anyway, the reverse on here is out to the left and all the way up, and that's just a bit odd to me. I'm not going to do it right now because we're moving, even if I had the clutch and I don't want to do that. But yeah, it's just a bit interesting. So fifth gear is almost like that. There's a little bit of a push you have to do. It's really hard to do a straight shot in this car. I don't know if it's like that for every BMW. I think it's just this car, to be honest. Let's try the AC. Hopefully that's not too loud, but I am burning up right now. It is only like 80 degrees out. So I don't know how much we're gonna get to go because there is a stoplight up there, but we will, I will floor it. Not gonna do an aggressive launch because there's people here and I'm not looking to ball the tires any more than they already are. So here we go, and floor it. So there you go. It's almost 60 there. I was like 55. Not the quickest again, especially for being a performance car, but not too bad either. A very smooth clutch, especially compared to my Honda. Shifter makes a bit of noise. Doesn't give you too much feedback. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not as raw in my opinion as some older cars, some older Hondas. But it's definitely not terrible. Some of the newer cars, you have features like auto rev match. What else do they even have nowadays? I'm not too sure. I know that's one of them. I feel like features like that are nice if you're driving around a city or something like that, but for really trying to get full driver experience, I've never fully understood that. The fun in driving a car is being able to feel the rawness of it, which is why I love manual so much. You really have full control over what the car does. And so features like auto rev match are not quite an automatic, but pushing that line there. So I'm gonna take a U-turn now. We're gonna head back. There we go. Try not to get hit. This is my first video though on this channel, so if you have any recommendations for commentary or some cars you'd like to see, I don't know. I am just a high school student, so I don't know how much I can do. I can really only get my hands on what my friends have and occasionally what my friends' parents have. But yeah, if there's any cars you'd like to see, if you know someone that has one, I guess that wouldn't really work. So yeah, Challenger. But yeah, and just recommendations for commentary, whatever. Please let me know. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Would love to hear it. Come on. ST. I'm sweating. It is hot. Even with the AC on. Like I mentioned, it does work. Just still really hot outside. That does feel good though. One thing I really like about these BMWs also is some of the design choices. Just the simplicity of the inside, right? You don't have a ton of crazy buttons everywhere. Well, besides here. But especially like on the dash, so it's very driver focused, right? You have your tack, speedo, gas, temp. Oil pressure would be nice too, actually. I mean, we're seeing that more in modern cars, but this doesn't really have a turbo, so you're not going to need boost or anything like that. And even then, one interesting thing about this car you may notice is there's no window switches here, and that is because the window switches are located here and here. It's funny BMW things. But another interesting thing is you'll notice there are 4 window switches, and this one just controls all of them, which is pretty cool. I actually do like that feature a lot. That way you don't have to 4-finger or whatever, do some weird thing. But you'll be like, hey, it's a coupe. Where are the other 2 windows? Well, actually these little back ones go down. You can kind of see there. It's kind of cool. And then of course you have the main window that goes up and down like that. Head down and get some. I don't know how well you can hear that, but there's not too much to hear. No turbo hiss, no supercharger whine, and no real exhaust note. It's a very, very muted car. Put that back up. This thing would sound really good with an exhaust on, I believe. Maybe not just a titch louder. Because with such a driver-focused car, right, a driver-oriented car, One of the important things when you're driving fast is to be able to hear your car. That way you don't have to keep looking down at your speedo, or your, actually not even that, your tach. You can focus on the road in front of you, turns coming up, and listen to the car. And this thing is just really, really difficult to hear. And if you want to listen to music, for example, while driving, you can't hear your revs at all. And you just have to go based on feel and intuition. And maybe if you drive this car a lot, that's okay, but not if you don't, A, and B, if you're driving fast, you want to hear your car regardless of how well you know it. At least in my opinion. There's a lot of traffic today, though. Alignment on this car is also not perfect. We are going straight right now, and that wheel is definitely turned. Very pretty day though. Hot, but pretty. So yeah, 50 miles an hour, 4th gear, 2,500 RPM. We're doing just fine. Got out of the U.S. where we cruise in the left lane and drive even slower in the right. Oh man. Can I make a left turn here? Probably not, and that would be correct. A U-turn here. Do some sort of back road action. Not really. I'm not going to be taking it too fast either. The tires on this car, like I mentioned, are pretty bald, so not looking to spin or anything. That way you can just get a taste of how the car handles, so I will stop talking so you can kind of hear. Nice slow cruise. Just a little bit of like I said, a cruise, nothing fast. But this is a great car, regardless. If any kids are watching, you want it as your first car, would recommend. Maybe don't take it. Oh my god, in my head there. Maybe don't like get it as like first car to drive fast. But in terms of practicality, it's nice. I didn't show it, but the trunk space is actually pretty generous. You can fit decent amount of things. Nothing crazy though. No. First gear action there. don't remember if this system has Vanos or not. Vanos, if you don't know, is BMW's VTEC, which is, it's for Honda, is variable valve timing. Pretty much just allows more air to enter the engine, and in some cases more fuel, but I think it's just more air at higher RPMs, and makes a little more power. So BMW has their own version called Vanos, aims to do the same thing. Does it? Debatable. Definitely leaks oil and causes problems, that's for sure. So not as infamous as VTEC. This thing likes to rev hang. I don't know if you noticed back there on that first gear pull, but we hit, I think, red line there, almost. Shouldn't do that too often, it's a BMW, it's gonna blow up on me, but it kind of hung up there for a bit before shifting in a second. Flywheel on here is the stock weight, because I don't think it's been changed. Well, with clutch changes maybe, but I still doubt it. So it's interesting that it hangs so much, but I guess with that extra hanging it does make it a little smoother to drive. Someone can't make up their mind. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Should check out my other socials as well. Right now, only on TikTok at The Ride Review. Just kind of do car. I don't know if I'd call them edits or montages or what you'd call them, but yeah. Check it out. Gonna hop on the highway real quick. Just get a feel for how the car drives on there. I'm gonna cruise in third here, and we'll throw it in a second to merge on. There's traffic on the way back, so good to know. Car does like the speed though. Gets up and gets going, that's for sure. That doesn't look good. But yeah, so right now we're at 65 miles an hour, 3K RPMs. Like I always say, a sixth gear would be nice. Especially California, where everyone likes to drive 15 over the speed limit on the highway. Would be nice if we had a sixth gear. That way you're not at 3.5. In some cases 4K RPMs on the highway, but the gearing on this car is still pretty good. I mean, every 5 speeds like that. Worse if you have a 4th speed, I guess. I'm gonna get into a fast lane in a sec. It's not the weekend though, so I can't go in the left lane. Gotta love that. So we were basically on a 2-lane highway, which is quite sad. But like I mentioned, a lot of older cars are becoming increasingly more rare. This is one of those cars that I think is actually becoming more and more affordable, and it's good. It's a great entry point for people who are into cars, who want to drive more and have more of that raw feeling. Even the automatics, I've driven an automatic M3 E36. They're not the best, but they're not bad. They shift as fast as a modern car would. Gosh, I keep putting it into third. Yeah, they shift about as fast as a modern car would, which is still not very fast. They don't have dual clutches. They're just regular automatic transmissions, but they do their job. They work, sort of, when they want to. The brakes on this car are not great, though. The rear ones were replaced recently. The front ones, I still think need replacing. But they're really, the pedal is not soft. It's definitely got a hard feel to it. But it, oh, there's a Lambo. And an E30. Oh wow, that's sick. But it still doesn't brake as hard as you'd hope it would. Especially for how hard that pedal is. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, leave any questions, comments in the description below. Love to check them out. Let me know what you thought, what cars you'd like to see, what I could do better, what went well. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out.